I'm Kenneth, a relationship coach and a psychotherapist. Every relationship is different and every breakup is different. Work with me and you'll get professional help on your situation. And if you're in no contact focused on personal growth, my Knowledge Workbook series and Creative Healing course can help you make changes like you've never made before. Available now at AskCraig.net. Hi there, I'm Coach Kenneth.
And I'm Coach Victoria.
And in this video, we're going to be talking to you about I'm scared I missed an opportunity with my ex.
Oof.
Yeah. One of the things that happens after a breakup is at some point little things happen or big things happen with our ex. And we can really be scared that we handled it poorly, or we can really be beating ourselves up.
And boy, does this cause us to spiral. A lot of times we will hyperfixate on that moment. We'll replay it a million different ways in our mind. You know, it can be really torturous to be in a moment like that and hard to accept just what happened and how you acted is how you acted.
This is one of the major reasons that we tell you that if your ex reaches out to reply, because some people will coach that you should only reply to something that's meaningful. Now, we don't want you to be breadcrumbed. We're not talking about a situation where somebody keeps breadcrumbing you week after week. That's different. But we're talking about a situation where you haven't heard from your ex in 3 months, and they finally use an excuse, which we call an indirect direct, to reach out to you. Because if you don't reply to that, you're going to be beating yourself up thinking, I miss an opportunity, right? So you got to think about what you're going to reply to and what you're going to ignore. We don't want you to reply to a liking of something or a blocking and unblocking of you.
Right.
Sometimes exes will block you and unblock you to get your attention. We don't want you to reply to an emoji to a story. We want just some kind of message.
Some substance, something that, starts a conversation.
Yes. So today we've got an email coaching who is somebody who did worry about that, and they're wondering, did I miss an opportunity? So let's get into this one. They said, hello, Coach Craig, you changed my life.
Wow.
How come you never tell me that?
You have. I've just learned a little bit more about Star Wars than I ever would have before.
That's what I've taught you.
Life-changing.
That's how I've helped you. You see this?
It's important stuff.
It's true. You still don't know who Yoda is.
That's on the next lesson.
The next lesson, that is. You're like, what?
Does not compute.
Okay, so this woman is in her late 20s, and her fiancé is around the same age, and they met in 2021. They've been together for about 4 years before he ended things about 3 months ago. She said, I was anxiously attached, and he was more secure with avoidant tendencies. What do you think about that? Secure with avoidant tendencies.
I can see it. It's all spectrum, but it is the avoidant tendencies part is funny.
Generally, you don't wind up secure with avoidant tendencies. It's more like you're avoidant who hides it well, right?
That's a good way of putting it.
Despite our differences, our relationship was filled with laughter, meaningful adventures, deep respect, and emotional intimacy. We traveled frequently, supported one another, and formed a strong bond that felt genuine and lasting. All sounds good there, right?
Yeah. And there's a mix of, adventure, excitement, but also kind of that deeper love that happens over time.
Man, I really wanted to jump in with a Star Wars with the Yoda quote. Adventure, excitement. Hey, that's what he says, and you just said adventure and excitement.
That changed my life.
A Jedi craves
not
not these things. I came from a chaotic, dysfunctional home as the fourth of 5 children. My ex, an only child, had a stable and loving family. At times, I felt unworthy of him. He was accomplished and grounded. I was lost, living with my mom and juggling college while helping her through mental health struggles. I often put my personal goals on hold to be there for my family.
So it sounds like he has a lot of good traits. He's
Yeah.
flexible. It sounds like he's supportive. It sounded like he was her rock, during a lot of that time.
Yeah, it really does. And it sounded like she had a lot going on, which would be emotionally exhausting, trying to take care of your mother. Maybe there's some anger or resentment there. Sometimes there is, taking care of somebody's mental health issues when you feel like they should have taken care of yours, right? In the spring of 2022, I voiced insecurities about our different stages in life and backgrounds. This led to our first breakup. I fell into a quiet depression and didn't reach out. 2 months later, he apologized. Not sure what he apologized for. We reconciled, but I hadn't taken the time to heal or grow emotionally, so we resumed the relationship with the same unresolved patterns. In the fall of the following year, we got engaged and moved in together. Life looked normal on the outside, but I was overwhelmed. I was balancing work, a master's program, and family responsibilities. I placed immense pressure on myself to succeed and appear strong for everyone, but I neglected my emotional needs. I became disconnected and insecure about my future.
That takes a lot of self-reflection to go back and notice those things and admit those things.
Yeah.
So props on her for really writing this out and thinking it through.
Okay. In January of 2025, his father made a hurtful comment about our relationship. Though my ex defended me, the moment triggered emotional withdrawal and deepened my self-doubt. I kept showing up for him, attending his events and supporting his goals, but inside I was shutting down. I couldn't communicate my needs, would shut down, and began projecting my struggles onto our relationship.
And man, that's tough. That is tough because sometimes words can be one of those things that stick in your mind and it's hard to move through. You put a lot of meaning to it. You do begin to doubt your partner and think, well, were they affected by this comment that the parent made? How do they really feel? Are they playing the part just to make me happy? Are they eventually going to leave me or do this or do that? When I think of that, I remember in one of my relationships, my partner had told me that his mother had said that it was better that he stayed with somebody of his same culture. And that's not anything I can control.
Sure.
Right? And so, he had said that probably mistakenly. It was one of those things where maybe he didn't want to tell me, but it just kind of slipped out. He didn't want to share what his family had spoken about in private about our relationship to me. And so I remember feeling that level of hurt and that doubt of what if he really thinks this way too? What if he is influenced by his mother? What if this is, the way that he really wants to proceed with his life and with his relationships? So I can understand how a small comment can really turn into something much bigger than it may have originally been.
Especially when you're feeling insecure about a lot of things already.
Right.
Okay. In February, in a moment of frustration, I acted out. Protest behavior. That's what she put in parentheses. Said I wasn't happy or romantically interested and threatened to break up. I immediately regretted it and apologized, explaining I was overwhelmed and couldn't express my emotions. After that, our connection grew distant. In March, he ended the relationship. He said I was mean and negative and admitted to keeping track of my moods. He asked, am I making the right decision? And said it felt like I didn't love him anymore. Though he still deeply respected me, I was devastated. And this is a lot, obviously, right? Because she was the one that said she was unhappy, not interested romantically. And, he's probably like, oh man, she doesn't really care about me. And looking at her moods and saying, boy, she may be irritable all the time, which is often a big sign of depression. And, he probably is taking a step back thinking, can I really be with this person?
Yeah, he probably was trying to understand what was going on.
Yeah. I moved out the next day. I went to our apartment the following day unannounced. Calmly pleaded to speak in person. He declined and texted he didn't want to restart the relationship but was open to a call. I texted him. I understood and chose not to pursue it, wanting to preserve my dignity and respect his space. And I left. I went no contact. Soon after, he blocked me on social media. I've been healing. Therapy, journal, dieting, exercise, reading, relationships and attachment, building career, rebuilding confidence, and reconnecting with loved ones. So she's been working hard.
Mm-hmm.
I now see I broke trust, emotionally withdrawing, miscommunication, and failing to express my true needs. My question: at the end of May, opposing counsel in my car-related lawsuit, handled by my ex's firm, requested documents that only he could access. Okay, that's important, because remember, she's trying to figure out, did I miss an opportunity with him?
Mm-hmm.
She's trying to guess, is this an indirect direct, I think. I informed the case manager of our breakup and asked her to help instead of reaching out directly. Okay, sounds reasonable.
Mm-hmm.
Shortly after, I received a bank alert text. He transferred me some money with the note, 1 tank of fuel.
Mm-hmm.
I'm still blocked, and the gesture confused me. Was it an indirect direct message? Did I miss an opportunity by not responding? Is there still hope for us? Okay, in this situation, that doesn't feel like an indirect direct,
Mm-hmm.
because there was some kind of lawsuit going on that she says only his firm could handle.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever, I don't know what he is in that firm.
Right.
It doesn't matter. But it sounds like this was a business-related issue that only he could deal with. And so he had to send that money, or felt like he needed to send that money for the gesture. So that doesn't feel like an indirect direct to me.
Right.
And based on the way this relationship played out, it feels like it would still be too soon.
Right. I think the trouble here is that she's still blocked.
Mm-hmm.
And so, at that point, you don't ever want to go through a block, right?
That's true.
So, she knows that she's blocked, and I don't know if she knows that because she attempted to reach out and maybe say thank you or just acknowledge the fact that she'd, received the money. But it sounds like that is still in place, and we have to treat blocking like a boundary, right? Because it quite frankly is.
Yep.
It's saying, I'm not open to receiving any messages from you in any way. And so I would say at this point, there's no reason to reach out to him unless he unblocks and reaches out to her.
That's right. Now, and the block could have meant just like on social media, right? I don't remember if she said that.
If it was through messages or not.
Yeah, in what way she was blocked. But yeah, I agree. Leave it be. Let him reach out when he's ready. You've been doing a lot of work. This is great. Because in a situation like this, he's going to be thinking, what would be different if we got back together? He's probably going to be doubting that it would be different. And so he's going to really want to make sure that things are going to be better, and the connection is going to be more probably fun and playful, and you're enjoying each other's company more like you did early on in the relationship.
Right. And if he has avoidant tendencies, he's going to lean more on the side of protecting himself. He's going to lean more on that side of, keeping you at bay, having a little bit more difficulty trusting. And so the note, it had said 1 tank of fuel. There was no emojis. There was no follow-up to it. It sounded like out of respect and honor of the length of their relationship, of the meaning that she had to his life, he had done this gesture to make sure that she's okay. And sometimes you see this. Sometimes you'll see exes, they'll do acts of service, little things to kind of show that they care. Might not mean that they're ready for a conversation about the relationship. Might not mean that they're even ready to really reconnect and take things further. But it seems more like I have this duty to make sure that she's okay in this aspect, because maybe he had heard from the third party that she involved there.
I think so, because it was right after, shortly after that, she had contacted the case manager.
Right.
So I don't think you missed an opportunity. This is not a situation where I feel like it was an indirect direct. Doesn't mean one won't come. You have to give it some time. This situation feels like one that it would take more time to turn around because of everything that played out leading up to this breakup. But keep doing the work. You're improving. You're obviously working really hard. Don't let this being an indirect direct or not impact your motivation level, okay? Only time is going to tell when he's going to reach out again. And really continue to think long and hard about why this relationship didn't work. Put yourself in his shoes and think about maybe how you treated him and if what you would want to have different if it was the other way around, right? I'm just trying to put myself in his shoes. How would he want to be treated differently? Because only you know how you treated him. And what maybe he didn't appreciate or like.
Right, and what erring on the side of caution will do, what, allowing him to have a little bit more of that space and not responding unless it's one of those direct, hey, how are things going? How have you been? Is that they start to wonder if they missed that opportunity. They start to wonder, oh man, should I have said a little more? Should I have checked in on her? Should I have made sure she received the money? Should I have made sure that she was okay? And so giving them that space, can sometimes turn the tables and have them be concerned, on their end.
That's a great point.
Try to manage your anxiety just using these little tips and tricks that we've shared, because I know it can be difficult when it's one of those gray area types of messages and we're trying to figure it out. If it wasn't clear to you, if it's not as, clear to us where he's saying, hey, I want to reconnect now, there probably was not a missed opportunity and that was the last chance kind of deal. Probably not.
Make no mistake, indirect directs can be very deceptive. They can hide those messages and the intent behind them very, very well. They disguise them because they don't want to show you that they're trying to make a bid to connect. And I've seen so many sneaky ones over the years. This one doesn't feel like it, but like I said, you don't know. You just don't know. Maybe he was trying to provoke her to see if she would send another message. I wouldn't, but let's see what happens from here. All right, so hopefully this one's been helpful to you. And of course, if you want to get our help personally, you could do that on my website, askcraig.net. I do email coaching and I do Zoom calls. Coach Victoria is also available for Zoom calls.
I'm here whenever you'd like to chat.
Just click on her name on the top of the website to schedule with her. But that's it for this video. I'm Coach Craig Kenneth.
And I'm Coach Victoria.
And we will talk with you soon.